Hello, everybody. Welcome to Empower Your Health, Empower Your Life TV. This is Monica Zumilak, and I just want to express my deepest gratitude for you being here and for listening, just giving us your time. And my promise is that it's going to be really worth it today. So, well, in terms of our project, Empower Your Health, Empower Your Life TV is dedicated to bringing you leaders and influencers in the area of mind, body, and spirit health to bring you the highest value and inspire you to action to take your life to the next level. So we present series of interviews, and today you are going to be treated with the best of the best. And I'm so excited to introduce you to somebody who's going to bring you extreme value and just change your way of looking at life and give you something that you will really benefit from. So without much further ado, I want to introduce you to Gina Ricci. So hi, Gina. Great to see you.
Good to see you. Thank you so much for those incredible words of just beautiful and kind, endorsing and endearing. And I thank you so much. I'm grateful to be here. It's so special to me that we have this time together. And I thank you all the listeners for joining. It's important work that we empower each other and elevate each other. So
wonderful. Thanks so much, Gina. Well, I'm just honored to have you. It truly warms my heart, and I just cannot say even more. So, well, great. So how about tell us where you're from and what brings you to the show today?
Okay, sure. Will do. So I live in New Jersey, and well, I come from having been in very dark places to be able to come to a place in my life where I'm able to shine my light and hopefully inspire and elevate others to shine theirs and to awaken the light within their soul so they can live their true peace, their passion, purpose, and live in a place of power so they can really own their lives and make that impact in the world by being the most pure version of themselves, the greatest version of themselves. Because if we're being the greatest version of ourselves and we are, taking responsibility for our lives, we are out to be forces for good in the world, then we are creating that ripple effect in the world that goes out more and more and is like the butterfly effect out in the world. And that's how we change the world, by starting with ourselves first. And that's something that we all have the capacity to do. Sometimes we don't know we do, but we do. We all have that.
Yes. Wow. I mean, what you say about us all being able to bring something to the world, that's amazing, because I feel like we all need that sense of contribution, and that's what makes our life important. So that's great. And well, tell us a little bit more about your background and how did you start on that journey?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for asking. So there I was. I was just barely 30 years old. I'm 51 now, and I'm standing in a doctor's office with my 3-year-old daughter, who was running around and feeling great. And she's my second daughter of 2 girls at that point. I'm holding her hand, and we're waiting for the doctor to tell us what's going on with her. And I really thought she was okay. However, we were told that she was diagnosed with, she had a rare leukemia. In that moment, I'm standing alone with her in a room with this doctor, and I'm literally, my entire body quivers to the ground into her little arms, her 3-year-old arms. Excuse my dog. My dog is her coming through, I swear, a little angel. And I'm holding her like, I'm never going to let you go. I'm never, ever going to let you go. How did I not protect you? How could this be right? This can't be real. And she goes, Mommy, everything's going to be all right. And she was only 3, and I thought, how could everything be all right? How could a 3-year-old even say that, right? But it was something that, as the months and years went on, that would stay in my soul, if that makes sense. And of course, I would never forget that moment, that moment that everything in my entire life was blown into a million pieces. And then to be told she had a very rare leukemia, that the only survivors had a bone marrow transplant, and it was so rare they had never seen it before in that hospital, in that children's hospital. They never had a case. So 5 months later, she was gone, due to the cure. Um, and she was running around like happy as could be the day before. So it was really out of nowhere. And she was a very old soul, and which is why I think that she could have the capacity to say something to me like, "Mommy," it was like her soul was saying, "It's going to be all right. Like, you're going to live through this," although, as her mom, I felt how, not just her mom, I had another child and a husband at the time, and how could I have not protected my family from this? How
Mhm.
could this happen? How could I ever possibly live through this? And well, I truly didn't know how I was going to be honest. And there were times that I've found myself in the car with the keys in the ignition, and I would sit there and I would go, "Okay, God, I know that I'm not I know that I'm meant to be here, but I don't want to. I want to be in heaven with her." Um and I would feel this soul, like, just this power of, like, you have another child you have to take care of. So I was hanging in there, barely by a thread for a long time there, but I had another child who needed me. I also knew there was something bigger. Like, I knew that little piece of me that my daughter, where she said everything's going to be all right, there was this little crack in my soul that was like, there's something that I'm supposed to do. There's something bigger. There's something bigger here. And there was a lot of things along the way that showed me that, like, very, very spiritual moments where, like, I knew there was something so much bigger, moments where her spirit was talking to me, moments where other people would bring me messages from her, moments that you couldn't, like, all which I wrote in a book, by the way. I have my first book coming out, and some things, even where, one of the stories was my daughter, her older sister would have once a year, she would have a dream that she would come running into my room, and she would go, "Mommy, mommy, where's Kylie? Where's Kylie? I just had a bad dream. She was gone. She just was gone." And then, like, the next year she would have a similar dream, and I would be like, "No, no, she's right there. She's playing in the other room or outside," before we knew about the leukemia or anything. And then the night before she died, my daughter said, "Mommy, mommy, I had a dream that um this airplane came over the hospital, and these angels put a golden ladder out to her window, and she
Mhm.
climbed up the golden ladder, and she was gone." And so there were things that happened like that a lot, and along the way. And obviously at that point I knew she was dying. It was clear that we were losing her. But to have my daughter have those moments of, you know being told, that there was some higher power to showing us. And it would take many years for me to come to a place of acceptance that this was all real, but I was very much, it was my mission to, like, figure out why this happened, and to connect with her soul on a soul level, and to not self-medicate. I was not, like, there were people like, "You need to get on medication," and I was like, "No, I don't. No, I don't. I need to. This is real. How am I? If I take medication, I'm not going to feel it. Like, this is real. I just need to go through it." I knew I needed to go through it, um, and feel the pain. And I did a lot of spiritual work and energy healings, and sought a lot of spiritual practitioners, which is what I needed. Other people have different paths. I'm not judging anyone. It was just what I knew I needed in order to keep awakening whatever was supposed to be awakened within me, because as a result of all of it,
Mhm.
I knew there was something bigger. Um, Anyhow, that all being said, um, it took many, many years, and a lot of pain, and a lot of sadness, and a lot of darkness, and a lot of ups and downs. And a lot of grinding and ripping and pulling like myself out of out of, you know, the holes, if you will, the dark holes. Um, but that was, I hungered for it. I hungered to see what was I meant to do with all of it. I knew early on I wanted to write a book, but I really didn't believe in myself. I didn't have the capacity. I felt I was really lost. I was feeling really lost in my soul. Um, I was a young mom to begin with. I was just lost. And I started a foundation in memory of her, and we helped many kids with cancer and their families. And my my now ex-husband and I scratched and grinded through getting our relationship. You know, we were working on that, and I didn't want that to end. I wanted that to strengthen, and yet it seemed that it would never strengthen. But then we did have a son 5 years later. So there was moments that it strengthened. And I was told by many mediums that I had a boy waiting to come to my life. So I had a sense that he was waiting, a soul waiting to come. Anyway, so he's now 15, and just, you know, brought my two children. So I have two on earth and one in heaven. And I just really, really craved for and hungered for the spiritual growth of all of it, if that makes sense. And wanted to like keep expanding on that and growing that and seeing what that was. Someone said to me early on, "Do you want to be bitter or better?" And I said, you know, there was no brainer. I wanted to be better. I didn't want to live a bitter, sad, depressed life. That I knew I wasn't supposed to. I knew that little girl said to me, "Mommy, everything's going to be all right." So somehow in my soul, I knew I had to make it all right. Whatever that meant, I didn't know, but I had to understand that. Um, and so, you know, it took a lot. It was work. It's work to change your life. It's work to change your emotion and to get out of pain and darkness. It's, you know, there were a lot of years of darkness and anger and sadness and pain and perpetuating in the why did this happen to me and why me, and you know, um so I was lost for many a year, but I knew there was more, so I was always looking for that light, that light. um and I so I sought thought leaders, you know, I sought spiritual leaders that I began to cling on to and listen to. And I think that, and of course I had a therapist, which, you know, there are a few different ones um I which I followed and worked with, but they were, you know, I would cry to them, and then we'd see them again next week, and I would cry, and I'd see them again next week. And then it wasn't until many years later that I started to experience and understand that there were coaches out there, that coaches that, you know, it's like they look at the solution. So you're not sitting in the room, and I'm not judging therapists, and I think therapists are shifting and changing into more life coach type style. But it was like when I began to get, like, I had gone to a shamanic healing coach, and I started to look at what I needed to do different. For a long time I was looking outside of myself, like he needs to do this and she needs to do that. No, we need to look at what we need to do different first. Because when we empower ourselves with our own and take 100% responsibility for our lives and our emotional state, it is the only way, really, things can start to really change. We can't expect others to change. We can't expect the outside circumstances to change, because when something happens in our lives, it's gone. It happened, right? We can't live in the past. Um, that was a long answer to me now coming to a place in my life where I'm 24, after 24 years after my marriage began. When I was 23, it ended a few years ago, and it was time. It was way overdue. We were going in very different places. And I knew that I knew that I couldn't figure out what I was supposed to do yet in a place of that stuckenness. So I, you know, we grew apart, and I then immediately knew I was supposed to write a book. I went to a Tony Robbins event that changed my life. That's where I know that changed, you know, I know how that is empowering for you as well.
Yes.
And it changed my life, the trajectory of my life, for sure. I was already into different thought leaders. many years ago. I had read many years ago the book, The Four Agreements Changed My Life, and The Secret. And so I had all these seeds that were planted along the way. And then Tony, that was it. That was the shift, the biggest shift, where I was like, oh wait, I can change everything. I actually can believe in myself and I can help others too. Wait, really? Like I really can, where when I was in my marriage, there wasn't a lot of support in that thought process. So, and I doubted myself too much. So there you go. So now I've come to a place where I'm coaching, I'm writing my book. I've had coaching programs. Like today I coached a bunch of teenage girls that were just like, oh, they were so grateful to learn this work. They were like, no one's showing this how to do these things. No one's talking about self-talk and all these things that I shared with them. So I was super grateful to have that space and opportunity. And so I hope that we can all just continue to elevate each other and celebrate each other and awaken the light in our souls.
Wow. I mean, Gina, so in the face of this incredible tragedy and what happened, what I want to honor is your immense tenacity and strength and commitment to what you say about, well, we need to find the strength in ourselves. We need to find the healing in ourselves. And you're the example, right? And that's where you draw. It's almost like you have this immense well in yourself now to help others. And I know we met at Tony Robbins' event, which is an amazing place to be. And I remember you offering just so selflessly some really beautiful help to me, and that just grabbed my heart, and I knew I'm never going to forget you, because you have something special to offer. And I'm seeing that this came from this deep inquiry and work and not giving up.
Yes.
So yay. Well, I mean, I can see how now you can take it and you can serve others, and that's what you're doing. So yeah, well tell us more about what you're doing right now, your book project, your coaching. Well, tell us what's relevant right now. What do you want to share about your current projects?
Well, thank you for that. And I mean, I thank you for those amazing and kind words. And I just want to acknowledge you also publicly here, how far you've come since I met you at that event in, December. When people decide that life can be better and they want to change and shift it, and in your soul that it can be, and that it takes you to do the work, and you do it, you light up like Monica, like you are right now, and like all that you're doing to bring to the world. And when we start to do that, it elevates the world. And that is what we need. We need everyone. We need us to love ourselves so much that we start to embrace the glory, the gold and the glory and the power within ourselves and each other, right? And to see the best in each other, so that we can make that impact on ourselves, on the people around us, on our community, on the world, by awakening the light within our own souls. So thank you. That is what I'm working on. if I'm being honest, every day, like that is, it takes constant inquiry, because inquiry is the only way to really start to change it. When you start to go, what do I need to do different? And I'm just really starting working with people right now, one-on-one or as groups, in coaching programs that I have put together. And I put together based on what people's needs are. So like today I met a bunch of teenage girls and they were excited. We're going to do a group program together. Sometimes I'll work in person. Sometimes I'll do a lot of online coaching. I had my program last year was called Peace, Passion, and Personal Power. And I had people from all over the world. I had another one called Inspired Soul, and we had people from all over the world that we would do Zoom calls with. And sometimes I have collaborating partners. But I really first like to do an insight call, a call where I can get the deepest insight on you and learn about your needs as a human, as a person, as a soul, so you can share with me what your soul deepest desires are, or I can work with you to understand what it is that you might want to shift, and what works best for each person I speak to. So I really like to start with a half an hour call that can change your life. A half an hour call that makes the two of us, that brings two people together, and it allows me to see deeply, and to hear you deeply, and to see you deeply, and feel you, and what's going on for you, and what your needs might be moving forward, so I can inspire and elevate you in a way that allows you to awaken your light in your soul, and find that tenacity within yourself to change whatever it is in your life that you want to change, or just to better it, um, to completely shift it, to learn what your purpose is, and your passion, and your purpose on this earth. And it starts with a phone call, video call like this, a phone, chat, either one, it will work. And I just schedule people into my calendar, and that's really the best way to start. It's the best way for me to start. I want to really know you. I want to feel your emotion and your energy and your drive. People, sometimes I'll talk to somebody who wants to change, but they don't really want to look at what's going on. And if they really don't want to do any of the work, it's probably not always a great fit.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to start to look at inquire what it'll take, and then we create steps, or I've created steps, or a program, like I said. So we just connect to what's best for you as a soul.
Wow, that's beautiful. And your work is not just about fixing and just giving some advice or some help. You're actually going deep into other souls, helping them find out light, find out tenacity that we all have, but maybe we forget, maybe we don't connect because we haven't gotten the help yet. So
Yes.
it's like, this is where you're here for. You're the angel
Oh,
that's
thank you.
around you.
Thank
Yes,
you.
well, it's beautiful, and I'm also curious a little bit. I would love to hear about your book, if you want to share.
Yes. Well, my book is truly my journey from, you know, darkness and tragedy, um, to a place where I've been where my soul is so lit, and I feel amazing, and I wake up happy every day and grateful every day, and you know everything is okay, just like my daughter said, everything is okay. And so um and I couldn't see that for a long time, so I was in a very deep darkness. So it's really my journey. It's also my journey of sort of my story, with all the incredible spiritual things that happened along the way, the very supernatural almost things that happened along the way, and um, then how I transformed what I'd been through to be able to um, turn it around and begin to inspire others, and using my life lessons that I share with others. So it's kind of, it's memoir into self-help, I guess, if you will. And I'm not ready to share the title yet, because we're at the very end of writing it. So I have a title in mind. I'm just, as soon as I read and edit and get through, I'll know for sure if it's absolutely right. So we're getting closer. I'm organizing I'm organizing my team to get the manuscript, get it done, and get it out there and published. So I'm excited for it. It's something I thought about, but I never actually believed in myself enough to believe I could do it. And what that is, one of the biggest pieces here is I want to inspire people to believe in themselves. I
Mhm.
didn't believe in myself, not only because I was in my own darkness, but I didn't really have a support team to believe, because we definitely have to surround ourselves with people who elevate us and celebrate us, or people who are doing what we want to do. We follow like some leader that's doing what we hope to do, and are inspired to do. I was, in a marriage and a partnership where we weren't inspiring each other, we weren't elevating each other, and I was staying in it because I was so hell-bent on not letting my marriage break down. I was so dedicated to my family in a way but it was codependent. It became codependent. It was codependent because I was just holding on for dear life. I just didn't want to let it go. And then when I did, I started to realize, oh my God, I have all these other things I'm supposed to be doing, and I can. you sort of, because now I started to surround myself with people that I was learning and growing from, as opposed to, you know, the people that I was just supposed to learn from. We're learning from everybody. We're growing from everybody. I shouldn't say that. My ex-husband is one of my biggest teachers, and I thank God for all that we've gone through together, because it's brought me where I am today, and I'm thankful for all of it. And I'm thankful that, he showed, because of our path, it showed me a lot of light in me. And that's where we have to just start to believe in ourselves and our capacity. And we don't know we have it until we start to really realize and follow people that can show us that we have it. Follow people that are doing it, that also have maybe been through something similar. So if you've been through a loss or a trauma, I've worked with suicidal teenagers. I've worked with, not only people who lose others, but people who are in high conflict divorces, and women who feel lost and confused and don't know if they can, they feel stuck. And maybe not just women, but often people that just feel stuck. They can't figure out how to make the changes that they need to start making to get sort of unstuck, if you will. So that's it. That's why I wanted to write my book, so that it would be there to inspire others to live their lives, feed their souls, awaken the light within their soul, so that they can live in alignment with the greater good. Now I actually feel, globally connected to the greater good, where I don't know about you, but I didn't used to feel like, I used to think, how could I really make a difference? Besides a little donation here and there or something like that. No. I feel a part of the greater good. I am a force for good. You are a force for good. Every single one of us can be a force for good if we choose.
Wow, force for good. Yes, this is why we're here for.
Yes.
And what I see, this amazing picture of you, first taking all the experiences that you've had that were extremely challenging, and losing a child, which most of us really does not understand. And I can only intellectually understand that this is probably the worst pain that somebody can be exposed to. And yet you took that as empowering event, converted it into something that is a light in your life and the light for others. And same, it seems like with the divorce, and just what you say about surrounding ourselves with people who empower us. I think this is the key. And to me, what I see is that you are creating that environment around yourself to support others, but you're also standing amongst those who support you and teach you. So it's a beautiful web, beautiful network where we choose who is in our lives, loving everybody, right? And serving everybody, but we can still choose the community that we are supported by and that we support. And I feel like this is really, it's a profound guidance to follow. And so I see you building this amazing legacy and contributing from your heart, and it almost seems like it just flows from you rather than trying or efforting, like you said, in the past. And I really want to know what's at stake for you for the future, and what do you want to create? Where do you see yourself in, like, your biggest dream? Where do you want to be?
Whew, wow. Well, if I'm being honest, it's been a long road. And since my divorce, it's been a lot of financial rebuilding. And that's also when I decided to step into this place, into a career I didn't ever have before. And so I want to continue to grow that. I know that we're always growing through what we go through. So I'm always learning new lessons and learning things like marketing and all that stuff it takes some time. So right now I'm in such a creation process, and I'm excited to continue that sort of the growth and learning of creating this business and growing it more and more, because I've been coaching people for so long, but not as a business, And so when deciding to that this is what I'm actually meant to be. And I felt it in my soul, like when I made that decision and sort of that declaration that that's what I'm meant to be doing, and starting to go doing speaking engagements. So, in the future, I see retreats. I see being on stages with other thought leaders and, empowering each other. Um, I see more books. I see more books. I feel that we need to, once you resonate with somebody, you want a little more from them. So if people find that I know that my book will be, my highest intention, of course, that will be a New York Times bestseller. So I'll have to write another one, of course, not have to, I'll want to. Um, and ultimately being able to elevate lives in that way so that I can continue to contribute more to the greater good. Um, so I really see myself just on the path I'm on right now, just following it
Mhm.
through. I really do it from, I don't plan, like, I'm not, not that I don't mean I don't plan, but like, you know, um, this was unrehearsed. I just want things just to started to come through my heart and flow.
Mhm.
And that is where I want to keep living from, a place that is in the flow of life, in flow of the universe, in flow with the greater good, in alignment with the greater good. And so where that might take me, I just don't know, but I know it's going to be all these amazing and beautiful places. And I know that part of the purpose of my life is to be happy, have fun, sharing my love, joy, abundance, prosperity out in the world with others, and continuing to live in alignment with the greater good, and understanding people for who they really are, seeing the magnificence in others, in all that they do, in all the circumstances in our lives, and feeling that, and remembering that every single moment is a teacher for us. Every
Mhm.
moment, every person, every good, every bad is something for us to learn from. Um, and so I just want to keep going the direction at the moment that I'm on, and continuing to learn and grow in ecosystems with people like you, and that are doing things to change the world. Those are the people that I love to surround myself. Many of them online like this, many who I met at Tony Robbins events, or different thought leader events, because we're out there to be better, to do better, to make an impact. And that's everything, just living in a place of loving, giving, caring, impacting. It's important to me.
Wow, it's fantastic. This your tenacity and strength, this is what takes us all, into that place of really creating this global community that's so much more elevated. And, you know, leaders like you are coming up right now. And this is why I was so honored to be able to speak with you today, because, that warms my heart that so many people right now are coming out and as powerful leaders, but not necessarily, sort of like solitary leaders that I am the one who's gonna give the truth to the world. No, it's more about being in a community and
Yeah.
sharing and connecting and coming from that collective wisdom, and just harvesting all the experiences we've had in life, that some of them were extremely painful, some of them were very disappointing, or maybe there's been years of struggle to find, who am I, where is my community, where do I belong. But this all kind of create, it's like creating this diamond, right, with pressure and difficulties, but then we start to shine. You start to shine and lead others and inspire others and inspire them to action.
Yes.
um, and
Yes.
that is this is just for me in my life, this is what I want to dedicate myself to, empowering and encouraging and serving those communities of leaders where everybody brings their experience and where we empower each other. And so my gratitude is huge for you for being here and
Yeah.
just being here on the Zoom, but also on the interview, but also being here on the planet, and just sharing what you have to share. And it's fantastic. And and I really do want to hear more and more and more about you. But I'm curious, like, were you talking about becoming that leader and creating wonderful opportunities for people, the retreats, writing books, doing coaching on a bigger scale, speaking in public events, becoming a public speaker of the highest caliber? I wonder, where do you find, like, where are the challenges right now?
Oh, well, the challenges right now, um, challenges right now are really just sort of getting that all going, if you will. My absolute most important job is being a mother for my 15-year-old son. My daughter, my 27-year-old is off on her own. Um, my son is still here with me half the time. He's with his dad half the other time. So I will always, he's first, so I can't just go take off and travel the world starting to create speaking engagements and that sort of thing, as much as that it will be in my future, I hope. Right now, like, he is still my priority. Like, I had the most, a wonderful opportunity to go to Tony Robbins' birthday last weekend, but my son was here, and there were things that I needed to be here for him. That's so, and so I don't want to call that a challenge. It's just a priority. So, like, something else will just have, some other things will wait as I prepare and organize things. And so the daily work of just learning and understanding sort of this new world that I'm putting myself into, meaning new career, putting myself into a career that I'm super excited for, and I have to sort of figure out the pieces of how it all works. Does that make sense? And inspiring people every day to act on their own dreams, because if I'm not inspiring you to act on your own dreams, well, then, you
Mhm.
know that's not, then then it's just talk, right? But I'm here to inspire others to act on their own dreams, and let's talk about your dreams and learn about your dreams through getting to know each other, through sharing, and collaborating with each other as to what it is that some of the steps are that we need to take for you to get there. And because I have all these tools and experiences and backgrounds and training, I might have some ways for people to get further faster than for me was 20 years of work,
Mhm.
20 years of spiritual growth, and building my muscle, my, if you will, my spiritual muscle, my emotional muscle. I'd like to take people a little further faster if they want that, if that's the right thing for them. So just the challenges now are just, logistic. And
Mhm.
um, other than that, I'm on my way, sister. So I just want to keep
Good.
collaborating with amazing people. I adore collaborating with people who have this force in their heart to be good in the world and do good and make the impact with integrity and honor, and striving for peace for everybody in their souls, you know
Wow. Well, you are that beautiful soul, and it's such a delight to be around you, honestly. Um, so, I mean, I'm hearing so much from what you say, and just that purity of heart, but also the strength and the stamina that it has taken you. And I know that you can definitely go. The logistics are not going to be stopping you. It's just a question of figuring it out. And I wanted to see what I'm also curious about. You work with people and you coach people, and um, I know that your motivation is to um, really go deeply with them. So tell us more about, like, what do you see for your client once they come in to be your client in your coaching services? Like, where do you really want to take them? Where's your vision going with that?
I really want to take them. I want to take them above and beyond all the things that are limiting them from living their most joyous and great, gratitude filled life. I want to take them out of self-sabotage. Um I want to inspire them to awaken their own soul. Like, I want to inspire them. They have to feel empowered. So if I'm not doing something that's going to give them their own power, show them how they have their power, guide them, direct them, through owning their power and making the changes within themselves, you know, then I'm not doing my job. I want them to have measurable results, right? I want them to have the tools to condition it in their body. We have to, you know, repetition is the mother of all skills, right? As Tony says, we have to repeat it and recondition our bodies. We have to not just have one or two, you know, sessions with somebody or anybody, because if we're not immersing ourselves in these practices, our body's not going to really own the changes. So I ultimately want to carry people through to the other side till they feel they don't need me anymore, or till, you know, till we feel like they can own their power and live, and they feel it grateful every day. And that could be, it can be longer term, it can be shorter term. That's again why the getting to know you call, the insight, the call to be learning insight about them is what I like to start with, so that I can help them feel within a half an hour call that they, you know, they actually have the capacity to make those changes, and we can, with my help, with my hand, with my guidance, that we do it as a team. You know, we're partners in this. I'm not your, you know, I'm your partner. I'm your a guide. I'm
Yes.
not like your leader, you know, or anything like that, but I want to lead, I do want to guide you to those. I want to see the light within your soul and shine it out into the world.
Yes, we're partners in empowering each other.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, that just brings joy to my heart. I know why you're here, because we speak the same language, and you know, we're so grateful for you, Gina.
Oh,
And your work is, I mean, it's so profound. It's an incredible example of how we take our challenges and make them into contribution, into service, into joy, into light. The darkest of the dark turns into light, and that's what transforms through you and within you and from you. And
yes.
this is the example. And I mean, I'm so blessed that you're here, and I'm so happy that I'll get to share your wisdom with some of my friends and some of my networks.
Thank you.
And you know, so we've been hearing about your journey and about your projects, about your future and your huge beautiful plans for the future. And I know everybody's just sitting at the edge of their seats and just wondering, how can I get in touch with Gina so she can help me and inspire me and take me to the other side and lead my hand? So is there anything you can offer our listeners, or let us know how to get in touch with you?
Yes, well, for sure they can set up. I just put a link in the chat
Awesome.
to set up that call, set up a half an hour call with me so that we can connect that way. Um, they can certainly, you know, I am on Facebook publicly, I'm on Instagram publicly. They can find me that way, they can reach out to me that way. um, what the best thing to do is like, just once you commit and put yourself onto someone else's calendar, you're committed. I find if I like, that's just like, that seems to work the best for people to go like, okay, I signed up for an appointment, like, here we go. That is a commitment to yourself. Like, it's your own, you're going to step up. So I'd love to see people and to just start booking into my calendar. um and let's make it happen. And if there's times that don't work, you know, if there's not a lot of time and you need a time that works better for you, please, I'm happy for you to reach out to me. You can text me, you can call me, you can email me here. um I'm going to put my email in the chat also, and you can email me at that number, at that address. um that works too. I'll give my phone number out as well. It is just you can text me and say, you know, I want to set up a call with you. um tell me where you've heard about me from, and let's learn about each other, and let's make something magic happen together, because we all have magic within us. Let's shine it out in the world. We're all here to shine our gifts, and if I can help you find more of your gifts, then wonderful, because then we can make a bigger impact on the world.
Wow. So here you guys. So it's 30 minutes that will change your life, and Gina can talk with you and just see, where you're at, where you're going, and how she can be of help to you, how she can bring out the light that's in you, and maybe just needs a little bit of help and a little bit of guidance so that you come out to the other side and become empowered in yourself.
Yeah. Yes.
um, and that's all it is about, and so yes, of course, without action nothing happens.
Right.
So we're going to have all this information here. You can reach out to Gina on Facebook, on social media. You can reach out to her via her email and phone number. So there's plenty of ways. Sign up on her calendar for a introductory interview or call, and so that you can learn more about her services specifically as they pertain to you.
Yes.
So this is the moment. There's no other moment. This is today. This is why you're here, and this is why you're listening. So there's no other reason.
And this is a free, I'm offering this free call to you right now. So don't hesitate. Just go for it. I promise that's the first step, is going for it. Just saying yes to you, and taking that first step that can make the difference for you. That's all that's all it takes, is taking that first step, right? And then another step once you get some more insight, and it's really, it can be magic in your life. So thank you. What an honor. I'm so grateful, Monica. Thank you.
Oh my God.
For time in this platform, to share
Thank
and make an
you.
impact together.
I just wanted to say to people who are listening and maybe wondering about what is it going to cost me and all that, it's like, if you're wondering if you don't have time or it's going to be too much of a commitment or effort, well, ask again. What is too much to commit to your own life, to transforming, to living a life of fullness and richness and joy, light, happiness, and true contribution? Well, I don't think it's ever too much time to commit to that. But this is going to be a short introductory call with Gina. So get it on the calendar and just reach out to her.
And I practice magic in that call, and we'll find out what works best for you, and that's the path we'll go down. I work with you to see what works. Sorry, Monica, but I just wanted to, you
Yes.
know, to share that. I mean, I'm going into a business and speaking to their human resources department. There's a lot of different things that might work for you. Maybe if you're looking for that in your business or your company, that's another way that I didn't mention before. So, it's taking that first step, and that's how we start it. And let's transform the world by transforming ourselves first.
Beautiful. Wow. Well, Gina, it's been such an honor to speak with you and to learn about your journey and your path and your story. I've heard a little bit about it before. I've heard more today, and I feel so enriched and moved and inspired to more action. Um, I have such gratitude for who you are, and thank you so, so much for sharing. And is there anything else you wanted to add at the end, to anything on your heart still?
I think you hit it all. Thank you for this moment, this time, this space to share what I'm doing in the world. And, I appreciate the platform and the place and the space to share that. And I want to, like I said, just help and empower and inspire others to take their place in the world, and make that impact that we all have within us, that greatness, to shine on our greatness, and the magnificence within each one of us, shine it out into the world.
Yes, shining out to the world. Well, thank you so much, Gina. It's been an honor, and I hope we'll stay connected and have a beautiful day. Everybody, please have a wonderful, beautiful day. Do something gorgeous for yourself, for your soul, spirit, and for your body. Reach out to Gina, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you
Thank
so much.